Today I am here in Stanton, California at Kim's Pianos, which is an amazing piano store that has some of the coolest pianos around, and this here is one of them. It's a unique piano, it's a beautiful piano, and it's probably the best baby grand I've ever found. Yeah, that's a pretty strong statement, but I think that this is the best baby grand I have ever found. What's interesting about it is, if you look at it, it looks brand new. And yes, the color scheme is interesting, I'll touch on that in a little bit, but it looks brand new, doesn't it? Everything about it looks brand new. You could have imagined that it rolled right off the Steinway factory just a few days ago. But actually what's amazing about this piano is it's actually from approximately 1915 to 1920. And it was restored impeccably. They did an amazing job. It plays better than most brand new Steinways I've found, and that is because it is a Hamburg Model O. You can tell that it's a Hamburg by, in this case, one real defining feature, and that is because the little side here is curved, and traditionally New York Steinways had a right angle here. It would come out, make a hard point, come down, and traditionally Hamburg Steinways had a curve. Also, traditionally, Hamburg Steinways had this really nice wood on the inside. This one does too, but it's a different color scheme, so that's why I didn't really mention that. It's a bit of a custom built piano, and so it has this really cool, I believe that's Macassar ebony. The color of it reminds me of rosewood, but I believe that's Macassar ebony. Correct me though if I'm wrong, but I think that's what that is. It's a really cool look, and as you can see here, the color scheme of the piano is a bit different. We've got silver hardware, silver logo here on the side, on the front. We've got silver, hardware everywhere. Everything that's metal on the piano is silver, as well as a kind of like a moon gray harp, and I personally kind of like it, I think it looks cool. I'm that kind of person that likes something when it's a little bit unique and a little bit different, and I just think it looks kind of cool. The dark ebony wood contrasting with the light silver harp. I don't know, I just kind of like it. Let me know what you think of it in the comments, but I personally really love it. It's also got really neat wood, just like on the rim, on the underside of the lid as well. A very nice touch. It's very, very pretty. But one thing I wanted to mention here about this piano and about Steinway and about rebuilds is that Steinway at the time of making this video, doesn't like people to rebuild their pianos. They're getting very strict. They're really tightening the noose around rebuilders' necks, and they don't want them to rebuild their pianos. And that's such a shame, because this piano here, if this piano had been in whatever situation it was in, maybe a couple of years, after now, Steinway wouldn't have said, they'd said, you can't rebuild this piano. And I imagine that this piano, before they restored it, was probably in pretty bad condition, because everything on it's replaced. It's got new key tops, which is an indicator of that the original ivories probably weren't in the best of condition. And so they brought this piano back to life, and they probably made it better than it ever has been before. It's got a brand new Renner action, brand new strings, brand new just about everything. And they brought this piano back to life, and they basically resurrected it. But if Steinway really stops rebuilders from doing that, then we won't have pianos like this anymore, and the Steinway legacy will eventually fade and disappear. But this piano here, like I said, is probably the best baby grand that I have ever played. It has an amazing action, and for the sound of this piano, again, it's the Steinway O, it's like maybe, I don't know, 6 feet, maybe 5'9", something. It has an incredible sound. The sound of the mid-range is so fat, it sounds more like a 7 or an 8-foot piano. The sound of the treble is beautiful, and even the bass isn't that bad. So let me demonstrate it here for you. First, I'm going to play the treble and show you how beautiful and resonant and sparkly that is. I'm going to play my original test piece. Then after that, I'm going to play some Bach, and then I will play some Clair de Lune, and I hope you guys enjoy it. If you're listening to this through good headphones or good speakers at home, let me know. Tell me, is that the sound you associate with the baby grand? I don't think that it is. That treble is beautiful, sparkly, resonant, and the mid-range is so warm and fat and rich that it really sounds like a bigger piano, to me at least. One small thing I'm noticing is that I think these 3 notes up here are a little bit brighter than the rest of them around them, which is really just a simple voicing thing. That's really the only thing that I'm noticing here, and that is nitpicky. I will admit that. But that's the biggest thing I'm finding that I don't like about the piano, and that is saying a lot, because this is a really, really great piano. Let's test out that beautiful, warm, rich mid-range that I love so much with a beautiful Bach chorale. I hope you guys enjoy it. A lot of the times when I sit down at a smaller piano like this, I often feel kind of held back, and I don't really enjoy the experience as much as a 7-foot piano or a concert grand piano. But I really love playing this piano. I love sitting down at it and playing it. It has such a beautiful sound. It has such a wonderful, warm, amazing tone that I love playing it. And I think it's my favorite baby grand I've ever found. I love playing on it way too much for the size of the piano. It's absolutely incredible. And I said earlier that the bass on it was actually really good for a baby grand. Here, have a listen to this. It is slightly tubby, but for the size of piano this is, that is incredibly good. I don't think I have ever heard a piano this small have that deep and rich of a bass. It's wild. How does it sound that good? It's absolutely amazing. So for the last piece I'm going to play on this piano, let me play Debussy's wonderful Clair de Lune. It's a really amazing test piece. It plays the treble, it plays the bass. It's a really good test of the action, which we'll talk about in a little bit later. So let me play that for you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. What a beautiful sound for this piano. I think that's a really, really amazing song. Someone suggested that I play that as a test piece for the pianos, and I'm sorry I forget who said that. That was a great idea. That is an amazing song to test out pianos. And probably one of the best things about it is that it really depends heavily on the very high treble. I forget exactly what section it was. Yeah, right about in here. You really are depending on those high treble notes to really keep the piece alive, right in here. You're depending on that high treble. And so you need a piano with really good treble to really be able to play that piece. It's a rather simple song, but at the same time, it's actually rather demanding too. You need a good piano to really make that song sing, and this piano does it. I still think that right in this range, right about there, I think that the notes are just a little bit too bright. This E flat in particular, I think sounds a little bit bright, but simple voicing would be able to bring that down and make that a little bit more pleasing. You do want the treble to have an element of brightness, because if you're playing a loud piece, you're playing loud bass chords and you're playing loud treble stuff, you want the melody, which is most likely going to be in the treble, to be able to sing out and still be heard over the bass. But at the same time, you don't want it to be too bright, because if a piano has a too bright of a treble, it starts to sound a little bit frail, in my opinion. So you want to have that perfect balance of not too bright, but not too mellow, because if it's too mellow, you won't be able to hear it. But if you have a piano that's got a treble up here that's a little bit too mellow, you really don't have to do anything to it. And if you play that area of the piano a lot, it will naturally get brighter over time and sound fantastic. But if it sounds a little bit too bright, you just need to bring the hammers, make them a little bit softer, just a tiny bit, I think, and it would sound really, really fantastic. That's the only thing about this piano that I found that I wanted to really mention as a negative thing. I put negative in air quotes because it's not negative at all. It's just simple voicing that most pianos need at some point in their life. It's an amazing piano. I said it before and I'll say it again. It's the best baby grand I've ever played. I've had lots of people ask me to play smaller pianos, and I don't think I'll really ever find one that will beat this. A good Hamburg Steinway is an amazing, amazing piano, and this one here absolutely fits that category. It's got an incredible bass for baby grand, which I hope that you were able to hear earlier, and it's got an amazing mid-range. I can't get over how warm the mid-range is. It's beautiful. It's so, so amazing. This is often one of my favorite ranges of the piano to play in, and this one has a beautiful, beautiful sound. I just can't get over it. It's my favorite baby grand I've ever played, and I play quite a few pianos, and this is my favorite piano of the size that I probably will ever find. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this review of this absolutely beautiful Hamburg Model O. Again, if you're in the Stanton area, definitely drop by to come see Benjamin Kim's piano store. It's an amazing, amazing place. The people here are really friendly, and the pianos are really, really great. So it's an amazing combination, and it's so much fun to come here and play their awesome pianos. If you want, you can also go check out my channel. If you're not in the Stanton area, I do have a lot of videos from Benjamin Kim's piano store, so you can kind of get a taste of what it's like to be there and hear what his pianos sound like. They're absolutely wonderful. And so if you want to do that, thank you very much. You might want to think about subscribing to stay updated for future videos to come. You might want to go check out some of the other older videos I've done, and if you do all that, and if you subscribe, thank you very much. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you do all that, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.